Hey guys, Dan here with Battlefield Curator. Why are guns so popular in America? Well, let's talk about it. There's such a variety of firearms in America. It is estimated, according to statistics, that 43% of households contain at least one firearm, which is, per capita, more than any other place in the world. So, America is one of the best places to be a gun owner. The gun industry in America is a $64 billion industry. If we go back in time, settlers came to America with firearms to help protect their properties. In 1776, when the American Revolution kicked off, firearm production increased rapidly. And since then, America has always had a gun culture. So one of my reasons why guns are so popular in America is the Second Amendment. So yes, essentially the Second Amendment is the right for Americans to keep and bear arms because, you know, there could be certain circumstances where the government does something that they shouldn't be doing and takes over. Or maybe a foreign government comes in and decides that they want to take over. Well, hey, one of the big reasons why a lot of countries have hesitated in the past to attack America is because of the willpower of the American people, how united the American people are, and they know that they have firearms. A lot of Americans have guns. So how hard would it be for a foreign entity to come into a country and try to establish a new government when you have cells that will literally merge against, and militias merge against that government trying to come in and take over America? I mean, we've seen it in Iraq, how hard it was going into Iraq, even with all the technology that the U.S. has, going into Afghanistan with all the technology that the U.S. has, trying to establish and recreate a government. It's very difficult, and it didn't really work out. Even the Soviet Union went into Afghanistan and they backed out because they were like, screw this, you know? So the Constitution, huge reason. Second Amendment. So reason number 2, why guns are so popular in America. Think about your childhood. As early as what age did you actually start playing with water guns, toy guns, dart guns, Nerf guns, maybe airsoft guns? Maybe you were exposed to real guns. Maybe you were, maybe your dad was a hunter and maybe he hunted and then you went along with him. So maybe you were exposed to real firearms and you went and hunted a deer or hogs. So, you know, there's the culture, upbringing as kids. I mean, you're already exposed to firearms. And it's actually a great way to teach children about firearm safety at those ages. So I think when kids are exposed to toy guns growing up, I think it's a very important aspect as to, you know, keeping the gun culture alive and also teaching kids about safety of firearms, even at those earlier ages, just with those toy guns. Reason number 3, we're gonna look at movies. Yes, America has been really big in the film industry. There's a lot of blockbusters out there that are action flicks, and you see guns in these, you see a lot of firefights, action, drama. It's so intriguing to see some of these movies and the creativity behind some of these movies that are made. You know, the script writers, the big idea guys, and you can't have an action movie without some kind of firearm. I mean, you can have like Kung Fu movie, but I mean, some of those even have firearms in there. You know, when you see movies, I think when people see movies and they see a cool actor or actress shooting and wielding a really cool looking gun, that's a huge part of, hey, that gun, now you can connect that with that actor or actress. And that may make the gun more collectible. And people will say, hey, that, you know, gun was being used in this movie. I'm going to go see if I can find it. I know a guy that watched the Jurassic World movies and he really liked the lever action rifle that Chris Pratt used in that movie, and he sought out the exact same model that was used in that movie. Tomb Raider. Think of Tomb Raider with Angelina Jolie. You can even look at some of the World War II movies, Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, this TV series. And, you know, the weapons in there are portrayed, and they're, you know, historic rifles and they're portrayed in these movies, and people learn about them, people see them on screen, and they say, man, that's really cool, you know, like that's actually a historic rifle. And then when they see it out in the gun show or at a local shop, they say, man, that's the same rifle that was in Saving Private Ryan. Man, this is actually a historically collectible rifle. This was actually used during World War II, or at least some point in time made during World War II. So there is that, you know, historic factor to some of these weapons too that are portrayed in movies. All right, another form of media that people engage in are video games. And of course, yeah, people are going to play video games and they're going to like the guns that they use in the video games. And they might see them out in the wild in a local shop or a gun show, or, you know, they say, hey, I used a Mosin Nagant in this video game and there's a whole bunch of them at my local shop. I'm going to go pick one out because, hey, I like, you know, I know what I'm looking at. I like it, you know, I liked it in the video game, you know. There's, you know, all kinds of things in video games like the SCAR, you know, a lot of video games have all these different cool weapons that you can use. And I think people say, hey, I was using that in that video game, let me go buy it, you know, or they see it and they say, huh, I know about that. I know how to use that in a video game. You know, maybe I'll try it out in real life and see how I like it in real life. You know, I've never thought about going to the gun range before. So I think video games are a huge part of the American culture, the American gun culture, and why video games influence a lot of people to buy guns. And, you know, I think it's a huge influencer nowadays that you have a lot of younger kids, younger guys that grew up playing a lot of first-person shooters, maybe some strategy games. And they say, hey, you know, that's really cool. You know, I like military history now. Or maybe, hey, that's really cool. So yeah, I think it's just a huge reason why a lot of people get into firearms is because of video games. All right, so yeah, and the next one is politics. Because now we go back to the Second Amendment, right? Politics comes into play when, you know, there's a politician that wants to infringe upon you know, the Second Amendment just a little slightly, and it gets people on their nerves. And they say, wait, that's covered under the Second Amendment. You can't touch my guns. So politics, a lot of people get you know, into the political aspect of it, and they get infuriated. And, you know, they say, okay, so, you know, if this politician wants to ban these guns, then I'm going to go buy them. So I think, you know, political fear is part of why, you know, some people buy guns and ammo. You know, some of these guns might not be around, you know, or maybe politicians come out and they say, no, we're banning all guns imported from China, so you can't have these Chinese-made AKs anymore. So now those weapons become very valuable, and so people might seek them out before they become very valuable, and then later on they might say, yeah, now these guns have appreciated like 300% in value. I could probably sell some and liquidate some and get a little bit of extra money out of it. So politics definitely plays a big role in the American gun culture and why people are keeping the American gun culture alive. You see a lot of posts on social media about it, you know, hey, you know, these politicians here are trying to get rid of your guns, or they're trying to get rid of a type of weapon. So, you know, vote, or, you know, go out and seek some of these weapons. Some people might go out and seek some of the weapons before they disappear, you know. So this kind of brings me up into my next topic, is fear. So fear definitely drives gun sales. You can go to any gun shop owner, any gun store owner, maybe, you know, a vendor at a gun show, and you'll ask them, like, when are the best times for you as a business to make money off selling guns? And the gun shop owners usually tell you when there's an election, when there's political fear, when there's, you know, some kind of shooting that happened and people get fearful, and they go and buy guns because you know, there's something happened. An economic crisis happens, and like the pandemic, and people want to go and buy something to protect themselves. Uncertainty, fear, and doubt drive gun sales. And, you know, you saw during the pandemic that a lot of people were just scared, and people just went out and bought firearms, and they had no idea what they were buying. They didn't do any research. They just said, I need to protect myself in case something happens. So fear is a huge driver of gun sales. And, You know, I think there's a lot of new gun enthusiasts because of the pandemic now. So I hope these people learn what they have, learn safety, and use these firearms in a very safe manner. All right, and the last reason why I think people go out and seek firearms is history. Of course, there's a lot of historical weapons available, but they're getting smaller and smaller. Their numbers are getting smaller. Some of these collectibles were used during some of America's most trying times. You had a lot of firearms that were made during the Civil War that are very collectible because they were used during the time that America was at war with itself. And America came through after that war. So those are very historical and significant weapons relating to American history. Maybe someone has some Revolutionary War weapons when America became an independent nation away from Britain, away from Great Britain and the UK. And those weapons are significantly historical because, hey, this is what the Founding Fathers used. This is what the generation of the Founding Fathers used to fight off the British. Then you go into World War I, World War II. Those weapons, when America came together to fight a worldwide enemy. They came, you know, the enemy of the United States was not just the enemy of the United States, it was the enemy of the world, you know. The powers during World War II, the Nazi party, you know, like this M1 Garand was used to fight against a very evil power, very evil world power, you know, during a dark time in history. And, you know, these weapons carry a lot of history because of they were used back then, you know. And so yeah, people learn a lot about these weapons because of the historical factor, and that's kind of, yeah, that's what my channel's about. So yeah, if you like this video, be sure to share it with some of your compadres. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook, and don't forget to learn history and curate history. Make it a great day.